Alright you guys, what's happening? Welcome back to another matchday reaction. This time we're talking Hearts 2, Aberdeen 1 from this afternoon at Tynecastle. Very much a game of two halves. A first half where I thought Aberdeen were good and decent value for 1-0. And a second half where we were absolutely dreadful and got exactly what we deserved. Quite often we'll do these videos and sometimes it's like I don't really know where to start, but we've really got to treat this as two different games because it was two very different performances for Hearts. Across the two halves and two very different performances for Aberdeen as well. And to be honest, one of the most frustrating losses we've had all season. A game that I thought we were very comfortable in the first 45 minutes and we completely capitulated in that second half. A really, really unacceptable second half. To be honest, one of the worst second halves of the Derek McInnes era, which might sound a bit dramatic, but when we get to it, I think I've got a good case in saying that. First half, we set up as we normally do. We set up 4-2-3-1. We actually had Greg Stewart playing behind the striker tonight with two proper wingers, so that was good. Really can't complain about the lineup at all today. And we didn't start the game great, but we settled into it, and from about 10 minutes on, we really controlled it. And we got the goal. I think it was 16 minutes on the clock. Corner comes in, Cosgrove header, rattled off the bar, goes up in the air, and I'm not sure whether it's going to go on the roof of the net or whether it's going to come back down. There's a stramash. I had no idea what happened, but it got bundled over the line by Conor McLennan. So 1-0. One of the weirdest goal celebrations actually at the game today, because I think a lot of people weren't sure what had happened, but a goal's a goal and we were 1-0 up. And for there, I thought we were good in that first half. Not that I thought we looked like we were going to add to it, but I thought that we were comfortable and I thought we did a really good job keeping Hearts at arm's length. And I think one of the reasons that we were able to keep Hearts at arm's length was because they made it so easy for us in the first half. They had one tactic all game. They were going to give the ball to Christoph Berra, who was going to hoof it forward for Uche Ikpeazu. And that was all they did all first half. And to me, it was just really easy because we had it sussed as well. We had the two centre-halves where they were supposed to be, and we had Lewis Ferguson who would just drop a little bit deep and hassle Ikpeazu. So what would happen is Ferguson would be quite strong, make it difficult for Ikpeazu, and McKenna would just come forward and win the header in the air. We did that all first half. It was really, really comfortable, and I didn't even think much of Hearts' game plan, to be honest. I thought they were really disappointing in that first half. And like I said, I didn't think Aberdeen were brilliant in the first half, but I thought we were the better side. We were good value for 1-0, and they were showing no real aptitude to adapt to what was happening in that first half. They did a couple of times get the ball wide and put in really terrible deliveries. There was one free kick for wide as well that they put over everybody's head. They just looked like a team that was all over the place today. So I think going into half time, a lot of us were kind of like, we're not playing brilliant today, but we're comfortable, and if we up our game, we'll see this game out easily. But the second half was a horror show, and it became apparent early that it was going to be a really tough second half. Now, they started it with a wee bit more intensity, which was a plus to them, but I didn't think they did much to change their shape. But the thing we did, and we kind of did this at Celtic Park a few weeks ago, where we allowed Dedrick Boyata to stroll forward, kind of untouched until he got about 10 yards inside our half, and then we started pressing him. And then we started pressing everything for there and made it really, really difficult for them to create anything. But we looked like we were trying to do something similar today, because every time Berra got the ball, like I say, he was just wanting to punt it forward. But today, as soon as the ball was going to one of their centre-halves, we just retreated into our half and invited them forward. And when you cross the halfway line with the ball at your feet, there's no reason to punt the ball forward. So we've just allowed them to wander into our half, and to be fair, they played some good football for there, but we were not organised today in that second half. Even though we set up kind of like we did at Celtic Park, we were so all over the place. And we got a warning just before the goal. Ikpeazu missed an open goal where there was a bit of a calamity with Joe Lewis and one of their forwards. The ball falls for Ikpeazu. He's got an open goal and he's hit the side net, and I've no idea why. It was one of those weird ones where I'm kind of looking at the linesman waiting for an offside, or looking at the referee for a decision, and no, he just missed a sitter. So like that could have came back to bite Hearts, but they kept plugging away, and yeah, they got the penalty very shortly afterwards. It looked like a really, really clumsy tackle for Considine on, I think, Mulroney. And yeah, could have had no arguments about the penalty. Sean Clare stepped up, sent the keeper the wrong way. It was one of those penalties, though, where if Lewis had dived the right way, he might still not have got there. It was right inside the post, so it was a great penalty. 1-1. And I was kind of hoping, because we've actually done it a couple of times this season, where we've conceded a goal and reacted really well, but nothing changed in that second half. And it was inevitable that they were eventually going to find a winner. They were creating half chances. They were getting decent possession of the ball in inside our box. But again, their final ball was kind of letting them down a wee bit, whereas we were offering absolutely nothing going forward. Eventually, they get the winner. It's a ball to Ikpeazu. He's skinned Considine, he's skinned McKenna, and he's rammed it past Joe Lewis. It's a good goal, really good goal. Disappointing from our point of view, obviously, but you can't take much away from Ikpeazu, who I thought had a dreadful first half. But second half, when they weren't just punting balls at his head, he was much better. And yeah, obviously what Hearts deserved today. We never really looked like scoring afterwards. There was a McLennan shot for outside the box that went over. There was a Cosgrove header for a cross they didn't get a good connection for and went well wide. Other than that, we were absolutely no threat. And with a few minutes to go, there was probably the worst substitution of the Derek McInnes era in that one, which kind of compounded how bad that second half was. We had about 4 minutes to go, we're chasing the game. We took off McLennan and brought on Mikey Devlin. Now, I, at first, when I saw the board, thought they were taking off 21, so they were taking off Ball and playing another centre-half, which at the time I thought maybe we're going to play 3 at the back, we're going to put Low further forward. I still don't like the change, but, you know, it's something. And then when I saw McLennan was coming off and I saw it was 27, I couldn't believe it. And yeah, we just chucked Mikey Devlin up front. The first header, he got nowhere near. The second header, he headed straight out the park. And yeah, it was just a nonsense substitution, to be honest. Now, I know obviously the game plan was to just hit the ball forward and hope, but I thought that was really disheartening that we brought on a centre-half to play centre-forward in the last few minutes. I thought that was a dreadful substitution. And there was a lot of Aberdeen fans booing McInnes on that one. And, I mean, I've always been a supporter of McInnes, but he can have no defence of that one, to be honest. It was mental. So, yeah, Hearts saw the game out really, really comfortably and got exactly what they deserved. They deserved to win that game today. There's no denying it. And I didn't think I would say that at half-time because I thought we were really comfortable. I thought we were decent value for a 1-0 lead. But the second half, they completely tore us to pieces. And I think they deserve a lot of credit for how they played in the second half, but I think we deserve a lot of the blame for letting them play. I think it's one of those things. A lot of people fixate on whether it's so-and-so played good or so-and-so played bad, whereas I thought it was just a combination of the two in the second half. To run through some guys, and again, we'll have to kind of clarify this between first and second half. Scott McKenna, Graham Shinnie, and Lewis Ferguson were tremendous in the first half. I thought McKenna dealt with everything, and I thought Shinnie and Ferguson were completely bossing the midfield. The midfielders didn't play well in the second half, and I thought Scott McKenna was getting the run around in the second half. McLennan I thought was alright, took his goal well. Again, just looking for the perfect opportunity in the final third without taking what he's got kind of frustrates me a wee bit. I thought McGinn had a really good first half of the day, but he kind of disappeared in the second. Other than that, there's really not a lot of positives to talk about today, and it's just really, really frustrating because, like I say, we were so comfortable in that first half and we deserved to be 1-0 up. The game wasn't great, but we were comfy and we looked like we were going to win the game, no bother. And then we collapsed, and there's no other way to put it. We collapsed in that second half. Our season is in grave danger of petering out, especially if we lose the Cup semi to Celtic in a couple of weeks, which any rational person will say we almost certainly will. Our season's in grave danger of petering out. Obviously, Rangers. I heard a lot of people talking about Rangers the day, being like, "Oh, if we win the day and they lose the Old Firm game, it's only 5 points and it's game on." But we had to be more concerned with what was happening over our shoulder, and Kilmarnock overtook us the day. I think Hearts are 2 points behind us, and I think Hibs are 4. And that's us potentially 6th this season if we didn't get our act together between now and the end of the season. And that would be such a disappointment, because it's one thing, I don't think Rangers have improved hugely this season, but they've improved enough that finishing third behind them isn't a disaster. But finishing behind Kilmarnock would be really disappointing, and finishing behind Hearts and Hibs as well would just be really poor. So we've got 7 league games left, and we need to get ourselves sorted, because I think our December form kind of papered over some cracks. I didn't really want to scream and shout and rant and rave on this video because I didn't think it's constructive, but I was in such a foul mood after that game today, and yeah, I thought we were so abject in that second half that we got exactly what we deserved. And it's so frustrating to have a performance like that in the first half, where we're good and we're comfortable, and then come out and just completely fall apart. That has not been Aberdeen this season. We've not been bad for that this season, but Jesus Christ, we did it today. And no one can argue that Hearts deserved to win the game today. So fair play to them. I thought Ikpeazu had a shite first half, but he was a big danger in the second half. Hope he's alright after his head knocked today. That kind of looked scary. He kind of went down like he was knocked out. I'm not sure if he was knocked out or no, but I'm pretty sure he's got a concussion after that one. So best wishes to him. The rest of the Hearts team, I just thought in the first half they were poor, in the second half they played like a team and they were impressive. I thought Whiten was terrible for them, but other than that, I thought guys like Sean Clare. I wasn't impressed with Sean Clare when he first came up to Scotland, but he's playing a lot better now. And most of their midfield I quite like. Guys like Peter Haring, good player. I really rate him. Their back three are... Berra's a good player, regardless of what we want to say about him. John Souttar's a really good football player, and yeah... They've got something. They've got to think that their season's been really, really disappointing. And I was actually a really good friend of mine I spoke to at half time, who's a Hearts fan. Next to the segregation, we were chatting, and it's like he was basically saying that like everybody can see the problem apart from Craig Levein, and Hearts are just really bad for being so one-dimensional, and they were so one-dimensional in that first half. And I think Levein will come in for a lot of credit for the turnaround today, but there is a part of me that kind of feels like we allowed them to change their system. Not their system, but the way they were playing by backing off them. I know that I just want to just dismiss Craig Levein, but I didn't feel like I don't feel like he deserves as much credit as he'll probably get for this, but their team played well the day in the second half and more than deserved a win. I'm going to wrap up just now because that performance today was so poor and I don't really want to talk about it anymore. So we'll wrap up. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, hit the red button. It helps me out. The growth of the channel's been no bad. So anybody who's willing to hit that red button, I'll really appreciate it. Like the video as well if you enjoyed it. It helps to get out there. And if you know anybody who'd get something out of this, share it with them. I've been QMJ. I hate football. I'll talk to you again sometime.